Welcome to Twist Talks, where we talk about the Japanese game Twisted Wonderland.
We discuss theories, headcanons, and other random nonsense about the game and its characters.
For the sake of spoilers within our podcast topics, we will only be discussing the international release over the Japanese release.
Hi, I'm Talissa, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Kaden, and my pronouns are I don't give a fuck.
Hi, I'm Wonder, and I use any pronouns. Okay. Hi. Welcome to this episode of Twist Talks. Obviously, it's just me and Wonder today. It's just a solo. And as you read on the title, probably, today I am talking about the fact that Yana Toboso is the creator of both Black Butler and Twisted Wonderland. Particularly, I'm going to go through some comparisons that I noticed while I was reading and watching Black Butler for the first time a couple months ago. I think I might be coming down with a cold, by the way, so I do apologize if my voice sounds a little off. I have a really stuffy nose at the moment, and I'm just trying to power through it, basically. Anyway. So, yeah. I will be totally honest. I haven't reread or rewatched anything to do with Black Butler since the most recent episode of the public school arc released, and then the most recent chapter of the manga released, and then Yana went on hiatus. So, I'm really hoping she comes back from that soon because it was a weird place to go on a hiatus. I feel like, but anyway, So the way I have this set up, because I noticed some connections between even the connections, or some similarities, I have 4 sections. So I have the character design, the characters' personalities, plot stuff, and then others. So that's design stuff and also just funny little things that I noticed. Yeah. Oh, the reason I brought up the fact that it's been a couple months since I touched Black Butler is because basically that's just me saying, if I get anything wrong, please excuse me and just let me know in the comments, but be nice about it, please. Thank you. But yeah. So let's start with the character design, because that's just the first page I have. So, okay. So starting off with the obvious, Agni and Soma are just Kaleem and Jamil. They're both design-wise and personality-wise, but we'll talk about the personality in a minute. Agni, with the white hair, and I mean, he's a little bit taller than Kaleem, but with his white hair and his turban, he looks a lot like Kaleem. And then on the other hand, Soma, with his longer hair and longer, darker hair, looks a lot like Jamil. And also the colors that Soma wears remind me a lot of the colors that Jamil wears in the Firelit Sky event. I can't remember the actual name. But the event where we go to the Scalding Sands. So there's that. And then, CL. I said this in our last episode, in the one where we made Sunny guess characters. But literally, if you take CL and you take Riddle and you put them both in grayscale, they are identical. And I know I'm not the first person to point that out. I know I'm not the first person to point out a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about today, but I kind of just wanted to gather them all in one place, so that's what I'm doing. But yeah, so CL and Riddle are literally identical. like their hairstyle and their as well as their face shape. So yeah. And then I wrote these in a weird order, so I'm trying to skip through ones that I think make sense to talk about first. Oh, yes, I also brought this up in our last episode. Sebastian. Oh, I forgot to mention spoilers, heavy spoilers. There's going to be heavy spoilers for the Black Butler manga. So if you're anime only um, and don't want to be spoiled, go away. And there probably will also be a few minor spoilers for book 7 of Twisted Wonderland. I will be talking later in depth about book 6, which I know some people, Caden and Talissa, haven't played yet. So, yeah. Be warned, there's going to be spoilers for both of these. Anyway, so yeah. Really the reason this one is really the reason I wanted to make this episode at all. And that is because in the flashback arc, which I think it's the Blue Memory arc is what it's called, in the Black Butler manga, there are several panels where Sebastian looks literally identical to the Tweels. And I have not seen anyone talking about that. So, yeah. There's that. And then there's also having to do with Sebastian, his demon form, which is like, all black and inky, looks a lot like the Overblots. Granted, we still haven't gotten to see a full vision, like image of his demon form, but we've gotten to see his heels and like his legs. And then also that it's like very, like I said, black and inky and goopy. And what we have seen reminds me a lot of the Overblots, which makes sense because have always compared the Overblots to basically like getting possessed by a demon. So there's that. But yeah. And then, oh yeah, this one is really just because I love them both, but Snake visually reminds me of Silver. Um, Honestly, a little bit personality too. I don't think I put that down on the personality. No, I didn't. They'll talk about it a little bit. But like with them both being very protective of their friends and family, and then like they both have, the silver hair and their bangs are similar. Yeah. I love Snake. I cried. I like actually cried. Or well, I would have if I wasn't at work when I read that chapter. But it's fine. I'm fine. Anyway. Um Okay. So this is the reason I skipped over a couple things. All of the rest of the character designs that I wanted to talk about come from the public school arc. So, yeah. First off, we have Redmond. He looks exactly like Phil, like just with longer hair and without the dip dye. They're so similar. I and then Violet looks exactly like Edia. Just with black hair instead of blue. They are just identical. And then Bluer looks a lot like Azul, although that does primarily come down to the glasses, I feel like. But like facial wise, he does still look a lot like Azul. And then I hate to say this because I love one and I hate the other, but Maurice Cole looks a lot like Appel. And I just want to make it clear, Apple is the one that I love, and Maurice is the one that I don't like. Or Cole is the one that I don't like. But But yeah, they do look very similar. So, yeah. I don't know how else to like explain. I don't really know how to add on to things. So, but yeah. Okay. That's the list of character designs. I have one more thing on there, but that's more like an outfit design, so I think I'll bring that up during the other section. Um so now we'll talk about the characters' personalities. Again, starting with the obvious. Agni and Soma are just Jamil and Kaleem, but swapped this time. Agni is a lot like Jamil, in that they're, both servants, but still very protective of their master, in quotation marks. Um, and they're also good cooks, which I find funny. Um, yeah, and then Soma, on the other hand, Soma and Kaleem are both the very bright, very happy, very bubbly, very, very wanna be friends with the whole world, rich, basically noblemen, or actually noblemen. So yeah. And then again, this could just be because I love them both. But Finny reminds me a lot of Ortho, and that they're both sweet, precious beans that you just want to protect, even though they definitely do not need protecting. um, I will say Finny is one of my favorite characters. I think Snake is my favorite character, and then Finny is like my second favorite. But yeah, again, that's more a plot thing. Why did I put it under that section? Okay, um. And then, yeah, after that, we're just diving back into the public school arc again. So, again, Redmond is just Phil, except maybe not transphobic. I don't know. We don't really get to see him interacting with the one trans character, one canon trans character. So, I don't know. But with the very, haughty, knows he's beautiful, rich boy asshole. Except I do think he's a little bit nicer than Vil. But, yeah. Violet is just Edia. He just is. Very quiet, doesn't go out and talk to anyone. He's Edia if Edia was an artist instead of a gamer. I skipped breakfast. Oh shit. Whoops. Sorry. I just got a stomach ache. I'm okay. Yeah. Also has like basically someone who interacts with the world for him, which I'm forgetting his name, but for Violet, that's like his assistant, is the guy with the mohawk, and then for Edia, it's Ortho. So he's got his emotional support extrovert. And then Bluer is not Azul, he's Riddle, because Bluer is all about like following the rules and the stuff. Yeah. Which is Riddle's whole personality in book 1. Speaking of book 1, this is totally unrelated other than the fact that it's about book 1, but I got the novel. I got the Rose Red Tyrant novel. I'm very excited. I actually cut out, because like there's this little print on the inside cover of Riddle's Overblot, so I actually like pulled it out, and it's on my wall now, and it's so cool. But yeah, so I'm very excited. I will probably make an episode talking about that, if maybe with Talissa, because I know she wants to, because I think she wants to read it. I don't know. Anyway, back on topic. So yeah, Bluer is Riddle, and then this one is one that I'm like really not sure about, but I wanted to bring it up anyhow. And that is that Jack is kind of a combination of Greenhill and Edward. And like that, like, Greenhill is all about like working out and like being strong and shit, and also like, but also like very, he's a good good sport. I don't know sports terms. He's very respectful when he's, playing his sport, which is for him cricket, which reminds me a lot of Jack. And then Edward loves his sister and is very protective of his sister, and like Jack, it loves his siblings but mostly his friends, and is very protective of his friends. So yeah, that's one again that I'm like not too sure about, but I had it on here anyway, so I decided to bring it up anyway. Okay, moving on to plot stuff. This is really where we get into spoilers, but I'll talk about things that have kind of been released for both of them. Oh yeah, that's right. Minor event spoilers as well for like events that have been released in the Japanese server but haven't been released in the English server yet. Okay. I'll start with the fact that the curry arc reminds me a lot of the culinary crucible events. That could just be because they're both cooking competitions, but that's there. Next up is obviously the fact that the Western arc, aka the public school arc, is probably what inspired a lot of NRC and Twisted Wonderland as a whole. Again, I know I'm not the first person to talk about that, but it's true. So, and yeah, there's no way I can talk about the last three without spoiling anything. So, this really is where, if you don't want spoilers for Black Butler or for Twisted Wonderland, you gotta hop off. I'm sorry. But, okay. Okay, so, not lastly, I've got 3 more to talk about. 4 more. Okay, so the circus arc, aka, Book of Circus, the Noah's Ark circus arc, reminds me a lot of what is probably going to be our Halloween event this year, which is the Playful Land event. Which, granted, I don't know a lot about the Playful Land event. But I do know that they're both. Hello. Oh, Target emailed me. But I do know that they're both about spooky carnivals that may or may not kidnap children. Like I know obviously the Noah's Ark circus kidnaps children, but I think the circus in the Playful Land event does, but I don't know for sure. But I've heard people talking about it, so there's that. Okay, and then there's the Blue Cult arc with the idol groups, which first off, fucking hilarious, amazing arc. That reminds me of the VDC of book 5 of Twisted Wonderland. Yeah, singing competitions. That's really it. And then the servants' backstories. With, oh my gosh, Baldroy being a former US soldier, and Finney being a human experiment, and Mayreen being an assassin. Kind of reminds me a lot of like Lilia and his backstory, in that they're both fairly unassuming at first. Like, Lilia looks fucking cool, but so does everyone else at this school. So, in comparison, he is very unassuming and very normal looking. And then you find out that he's like a super famous war veteran and like general, and has all this insane backstory about, which, granted, I'm not totally caught up on, but like he's got an insane backstory. So yeah, there's that. And then lastly, this is really the big thing. So it's why I'm like lots of spoilers for both Twisted Wonderland and book 6 and the Black Butler manga. That's why I'm putting this last. Yeah. Um, the whole thing with the Phantom Hive twins reminds me of the Shroud brothers. Obviously not everything. Like the Shroud brothers didn't were never human trafficked, but like, the thing with one of them dying or presumably dying or being basically dead, um, and then the other one like doing everything in his power to in some way replace the other sibling, you know, for the Phantom Hives, that's RCL taking the place of CL. Um, and then with the Shroud brothers, that's, Robot Ortho. Idia creating Robot Ortho. But yeah. And then, when the original brother does come back, he's very vengeful and angry about it. Which you kind of see it will obviously we see in real CL with the Phantom Hive twins. But then we also see it a little bit in the Shroud brothers with the real Ortho, who, has been stuck at the bottom of Tartarus this whole time, like being mad at Robot Ortho and like wanting to, take back his place. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's another one of the things that was like, I need to talk about that because I don't think I've seen anyone talking about it. And it's like, obviously, it's not exactly the same. Oh no, I'm sorry. My my pop filter fell off. Anyway, like obviously it's not exactly the same, but I do find it interesting that like they are so similar and that Yana decided to go that route and write such a similar story twice. Yeah, I don't know. I find it interesting. Okay, so that's it for the plot stuff. And now we can talk about uh, other things that I noticed. Yes, so I have this written in my notebook as gender stuff TM. Which, by the way, yes, I know. Wonder having notes for an episode for once. What is the world coming to? I wrote these notes like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I don't know. It's been a while. But yeah, so I have this written in my notes as gender stuff TM. So like obviously Grell is canonically trans, and Epple is not canonically trans. It's mostly a headcanon, but still, we know that Yana is no stranger to writing trans characters because of Grell. Granted, obviously, when Grell started out, her depiction was not so great, but she's changed a lot for the better lately in the manga. At least I think she has. Like, not her, but like how Yana is choosing to depict her. So I do think there could still be a chance that we could get something like that with Epel. Yeah. Some sort of confirmation that Epel is trans. I don't know, probably not, but I think it's interesting. And then I have. Again, I just find this funny. The fact that Vil is German, and then there's a whole arc in not in Twisted Wonderland, in Black Butler that takes place in Germany that results in two German characters joining the major cast. Those being, oh, I'm so bad with names. Sieglinde, the witch, and then her servant. Yeah, I don't have his name. I don't remember what his name is, but Sieglinde and her servant. So yeah, I just found that really funny. Why do I have gender? That's meant to say genre, not gender. Oh my god. I don't even remember what I was talking about with that. I have pushing genre. Well, it's written in my notebook as pushing gender boundaries, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pushing genre boundaries because I do remember having thoughts about that, but I don't remember what those thoughts were. So unfortunately, I have to skip that. Oh, okay. The stars, the way that Yana draws stars, and I'm pretty sure this is just the way that she draws them, but I still find it really cool that they look identical. But the like 3D star ornaments that you see in the little flashback dreams in the Emerald Witch arc um, are the same star ornaments that we see the in the star sending event. Yeah. I don't know if that's like again just how Yana draws stars or if like I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, Black Butler does not take place in Twisted Wonderland, but my thought is like, and I don't think she was working on Twisted Wonderland yet when that work came out, especially not the um the Star Sending event. But I don't know. I just feel like I can't help because I know those star ornaments as the wishing stars. I can't help but interpret that dream as like obviously, RCL is like berating RCL or RCL as in real CL as in the letter R. Um, Obviously real CL is like berating RCL for taking his place and being mad at him, but like this is still, to me at least, this is still RCL's biggest wish is to be able to talk to his brother again and like to have a civilized conversation. So not what ended up happening when his brother did come back, but to be able to be brothers again, basically, is what my thinking is. I could be wrong about that. I could be misinterpreting some things about RCL or about the CL's twins, but yeah. uh, okay, on that note, let's talk about the fact that the Phantom 5 costumes are just the Savannah Claw dorm outfits and Lilia's dorm outfit. Leather vests, the gloves, the belts, and then a Harcourt's skirt. Yeah. By the way, I love Harcourt. I haven't gotten to talk about him yet, but I love him. He's a sweetheart. Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, the last things. Well, I mean, technically, I still have the pushing genre boundaries, but again, I don't remember what that was supposed to be. The last thing on here that I haven't talked about, that I'm going to talk about, is the fact that there are 3 voice actors at this point in time. There could be more later down the line, but there are 3 voice actors that are in both Black Butler and Twisted Wonderland. I don't remember their names. Hang on, let me pull up my voice actors document. But yeah, I should probably mention I'm a nerd about voice actors. I have like how long is it? 26-page document of every single voice actor who has been in at least 2 shows that I've seen. So okay. So first off, we have of the 3 voice actors that have been in both Black Butler and Twisted Wonderland, we have Yamashita Seiichiro, who plays Ace in Twisted Wonderland, and Edward in Black Butler. Okay, we have Sugiyama Noriaki, who. Oh yeah, this is the thing. He plays Grim in Twisted Wonderland. And then William T. Spears in Black Butler. Insane. What? Okay. And then, third, last but definitely not least, where is he? Oh, yes! We have Okamoto Nobuhiko, who plays Dagger in Black Butler, and Floyd in Twisted Wonderland, and also Noya in Haikyuu. But that's unrelated, so. But yeah. Now those two are characters that I can see being voiced by the same voice actor. Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Again, if I have misremembered anything about, honestly, either Black Butler or Twisted Wonderland, please let me know. And if you see any other connections between Black Butler and Twisted Wonderland, also let me know. And, let's talk about it. So, yeah. Thank you for listening. Bye!